What's up guys, it's Criddle here from the AnimeBallZ team with another This Is For You guys to check out. A cool series from Hanabi this time, because this time, this is AKB0048.
Off the tracks.
Alright, let's get straight to it. AKB0048 is a horribly titled series, but an interesting series nonetheless. We're set in the 21st century, bit weird, and essentially Earth has become so inhospitable that humanity has sort of spread to the stars and has occupied a number of different planets. For whatever reason, there were laws put in place that banned music and art from being viewed and absorbed by the general population, which means essentially if you're in a band, you're a bad person. You know, aside from the drugs and the alcohol and all the loose women and stuff like that that you get involved with, just being a musician is bad. It's like being a rock and roll artist back in like the 20s or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, basically there was a group called AKB0048 who were this amazing idol group back in the day, and AKB0048 was essentially a massive tribute to that, which has become its own movement on its own. The story does follow 4 girls who are trying to become members of AKB0048, and every year or every few years or whatever, they have essentially a casting call for the next generation of AKB0048 members, to the point where not everyone will get through, and there's actually one year where there's only 2 people that made it through, and as opposed to the other years where there's been like 15 people who've made it through. So those 2, and they weren't all that great, so it's like this kind of almost a solo act with just the 2. It's like, hey, we're the warm-up act. We're not all that great, but we're here. We're to be feared and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, essentially you've got these girl musicians, and it's like, okay, we've got a pop idol group set in the future in a world where music's banned. How is this going to be interesting? I mean, the government's going to be after them, and there's, you know, DES, you know, people that are after and actually literally kill musicians, you know, guys in like bodysuits and crap like that, running around trying to stop the music, you know, music you own it, when the music stops. I was thinking of an Eminem song, but I couldn't remember the one, When the Music Stops. Good song, it's like track 16 on the Eminem Show album. I know that album too well. I think if I'm wrong, then whoops, Till I Collapse is track 18, I think. Anyway, that's beside the point. So basically it does follow these 4 girls and all the other girls that they meet along the way. It's a very girl-centric anime, but all the girls in AKB0048, as well as being idols, also need to know how to use weapons and how to defend themselves, because if they're not on stage, they're on perimeter, which means that they have to protect the people on stage and the fans from essentially the military and the government and all that sort of stuff, and basically every person that wants to shut them down. So let's have a look at the main 4 characters in this series. First off, we have Nagisa, who, you know, she's the main character. She's the one that, you know, everyone is sort of following around, and she's got her 2 friends, and all 3 of them have made this pact with the 4th girl to become members of AKB0048. The other 2 girls are Orine and Yuka, who are both just her, you know, her best friends, who were there at this concert where they saw when they were little girls, and they saw it with this 4th girl, Chieri, but it's revealed that Chieri isn't, you know, just a girl that was always hanging out with them. She was this girl that they met on the day of the concert, hung out with her, and they all became friends by this bond, but they didn't know each other for long, but they all agreed on the same night that they would all become members of AKB0048. And they all meet up together, and they're all on this adventure together to become members of AKB0048, and it's an interesting journey. I mean, you know, I don't want to spoil too much of the series, but the contrast between being an idol group and having to be kick-ass at the same time, I think was actually a really cool method of dealing with this. You know, it could be something as simple as K-On! Or Haruhi Suzumiya, which is not an idol series, but it's got that sort of, you know, that slice of life feel. But, you know, this is futuristic, music's been banned, so music is actually a bad thing, and these girls who clearly are good people wanting to spread this music to the universe, essentially. Now, it can't just be the world because they live on multiple worlds. Spread this out to the universe so that everyone can experience this joy and this feeling that they felt on this day when they were kids. But that is enough about the series itself, the people involved, and the storyline. Let's have a look at the people behind those people in the series as we look at
The good, the bad, and the dubbers.
So Nagisa is voiced by Lucy Christian, who is the voice of Nami from One Piece, Elsie from The World God Only Knows, and Medusa from Soul Eater. Chieri is voiced by Emily Neves, who is the voice of Jubei Yagyu from Samurai Girls, Mitsuhide from Battle Girls Time Paradox, and Yukie from Magikoi over Samurai Girls. Very good theme with her work. Orene is voiced by Brittany Kadowski, who you will know as Athena from Campione, Yoshino from Battle Girls Time Paradox, and Cecilia from Infinite Stratus. And Yuka is voiced by Monica Rial, who is the voice of Stocking from Panty and Stocking, Shiro from Dead Man Wonderland, and Mira Jane from Fairy Tail. So I gotta say that I did not expect an Idol series to be as interesting as it was. It really broke away from this mold of being this really girly sort of series when you've got these characters who are contrasted as being really girly idols with also able to operate a machine gun. It's an interesting premise for a series. Definitely check it out if you have got the time. It was a very interesting piece. The music that's kept in, because obviously it's Idol series, so there's Idol songs and stuff like that. All of that was left in the original Japanese with the dub. So you've got the original music. They didn't try to make the songs, you know, westernize everything to sort of make it more accessible to people. They left it in the original context because that is how the music is strongest. So yeah, definitely check out this series if you're interested in a weird mash of sci-fi, idols, and fighting, all mashed into one big ball of AKB0048 greatness. Anyway, I am Criddle. This has been AKB0048, the Hanabi release on another This Is, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.